Hello, my name is swissbianco. In this video I will talk about the tessiner gertel, a Swiss machete-like tool. We see two pieces of them in front of the camera. The blades are crooked and it only cuts on the inside of the blade from here all the way to the tip. The tip usually is a little bit pointy. Those examples of the tessiner gertel that we see in front of the camera are older ones. Back in the day they were nicer made in Switzerland. Then they did start cheaping it out, and the quality of the ones that you still can buy in Switzerland are really not as well as the older ones. So it was better to buy older ones and used ones and fix them up. We see that on the leather handles of them. They form the last piece of leather a bit like a guard, and then just in layers of the leather, like in USA as we have that with the K-bar, the traditional US Marine Corps fighting knife. It's just a stacked up leather that they have used on them in Switzerland, and the current made ones, as I was seeing them the last time I was there, that is absolute terrible workmanship, rough made. Of course this is only a tool, but still that is comparing with the older versions that we have here, really not that nice anymore. So of the few items that I did be able to bring over to USA, that were two of those tools here. In USA, as best as I see, there is nothing like this, and for some use it comes in handy. It's a bit a more specialized machete with that crooked blade. You could also use that as a weapon if needed, so that gives a unique purpose. In Switzerland that doesn't come with sheets. There, as best as I know, were never sheets made for this kind of device, and in USA maybe later one day I'm gonna make some sheets to protect the blade. The hook that is on the end of the handle is mainly used to hook them into the belt. As best as I see, we have here the riveted part of the metal that goes all the way down. Again, there is a piece of leather guarding that part too, that the handle doesn't fly off as you swing it. And we see the stacked up leather on this one, really old one, that quite likely from the 70s or even older. It's a traditional tool, and the black finish on the blade I did in USA, because of the humidity, it's pretty rough on anything that is not protected too well, so I did that. For the marks we see on this one is a bit like a house mark and something in it, and there is another mark and a 50. It's hard to say if that is made in the 50s. Those tools were used in Switzerland for a long time, so it could be, maybe not, who knows. We got that used, of course. And the second one, which has a bit of better shape on the leather handle, doesn't have any markings, but got a bit more used. The scale of the forged iron did wear off a bit, but that's okay. So it has a bit a strange look, of course. The handle is, for my big hands, really well. And then we have the blade with the hook and the point. Basically you use it like a machete with the sweet spot about here. And you have also a bit a hooked part that you can hit something and drag it towards you. That is also be used for that. What exactly they did in Switzerland, use that design for, where it came up and all that, I don't know. That I never saw, as best as I remember, anybody else using those items and what exactly they gonna do with it. But here in USA I use it for vegetation. Sometimes it comes in handy for have a shorter blade and that hook, so we can actually drag a bit stuff towards us of the vegetation and cut it down. In Switzerland the vegetation is mainly protected. You hardly can go in a forest and cut something down that is banned, and they don't like it at all. In USA it's the complete opposite. Here in North Georgia we have so much vegetation, and you really don't need to feel bad at all if you cut something down that is in the way. With all the rain and the sunshine we have here, that is back up within 2-3 weeks, and then you can cut it again if you don't cut it the first time really well down and get rid of it. The forest here in North Georgia is a bit like a rainforest with the humidity and all the weather that we have. So machete and tools like the tessiner gertel in front of the camera are really needed. That is maybe a bit different if you are in Alaska or somewhere else, but here in North Georgia such tools really are needed. So tessiner gertel, the name tessiner is regional. It's in the southern part of Switzerland, towards Italy, where it is a bit warmer. Maybe have a bit more vegetation too. And gertel just means pretty much a cutting tool. If it's with the crooked blade like this or with a straight blade, it's just a little bit a tool that cuts. That is what gertel say. So as best as I see in USA, nobody else has much of those tessiner gertels, because it's pretty much unknown here. And as we look at the shape of those two, we see the shape is not even the same. We see one is a bit longer than the other. So those quite likely were back in the day hand forged, and basically you had a lot of variation in them, how it goes a bit wider or a bit longer and then crooked. That was pre-or everything got laser or water jet cut out of a sheet metal, and that's why we also saw on one of them a bit scales of the iron of the steel that did break out. Maybe last point about thickness. Thickness is usually thicker than a machete, is about 4 or 5 millimeter here. On that item it's pretty heavy. That makes it up for the short length, and again with the sweet spot that we have in here, there is a pretty good force possible to hit something. And with the hook on top, that goes deep into wood or anything else too. That sticks pretty well, and then you can drag it towards you or further away, of course, too. So that much about a unique tool from Switzerland. And I'm sorry it's not for sale, I just have 2 of them. I'm not gonna put it in the web shop or anything else, and I don't know where in USA you could get such a thing. Don't ask me too much. And as I say, the new made ones in Switzerland, they are garbage. I would never bother using one of those. So it is how it is. The few ones, the old ones that are around, they quite likely rust somewhere in a barn in Switzerland, and the leather gets rotting off and it's pretty much gone. So that is how that is about the tessiner gertel, a typical traditional Swiss tool.